Thank you, Dean Olien, for the kind introduction and for the well-prepared summary of my speech, actually. I was very impressed to read your ambitious growth campaigns and goals of increasing your school's global presence and partnership. I think the Emerson School of Management and Volkswagen have much in common, but more about that a little bit later. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here today. I'm actually nervous, and I'm honored to be here at Emerson School of Management. I'd like also to thank the sponsors who helped make this event possible, Net Impact and the UCLA Sustainable Resource Center. Net Impact is a great example of how collective action by committed individuals can lead to positive change. The UCLA Sustainable Resource Center is proof positive that business, government, and non-profit sectors can come together in an impactful way. My visit today brings back fond memories of my own experience as a business school student at the University of Cologne in Germany. I remember what's like to be on the other side of the podium in this kind of setting. I can say today with some certainty that many of the skills and lessons you learn here will be valuable in future careers. I can say that with equal certainty that others will be totally useless. And I hope that my remarks don't fall into this category. You are actually very fortunate to attend one of the top business schools in the world. As someone who has worked in Europe, in Asia, and in the United States, I'm particularly impressed by UCLA Anderson's global focus. I also appreciate this emphasis on entrepreneurship and its commitment to advanced technology. That all sounds a little bit like the Volkswagen Group. UCLA created this business school in 1935, in the middle of the Great Depression. I'm sure someone at UCLA advised against it. Someone must have said, you can't take a risk or try something new in these times like this. It's always easy in difficult times to seek safe ground to hide from challenges. That's the easy way, but it is the wrong way. It's no secret that the automobile industry is dealing with an extremely difficult economic environment. Like our competitors, the Volkswagen Group and the Volkswagen Group of America sold fewer cars in the United States in 2008. Fortunately, we increased our market share. Globally, our company defied industry trends and increased sales despite the international economic problems. We just earlier today announced our financial statement for 2008. The Volkswagen Group has sold 6.3 million vehicles, has raised an operative profit of 6.3 billion euro. That's equal to 8.2 billion US dollars. Profit after tax is 6.1 billion US dollars. And the return on investment, the ROI, is 10.9%. That's actually also that Volkswagen Group earned its cost of capital and exceeded the minimum rate of return of 9%. We have done our homework, and our tank at the Volkswagen Group is filled, and we are ready, and we are committed to drive the ship of the Volkswagen Group globally through this economic crisis. We have done better than most of car companies, but we are not immune to economic realities. Our strategy is very simple. We want to turn challenges which the economic crisis offers into opportunities. We want to take steps now to ensure that when the economy rebounds, we will be ready. Our tanks are filled, and we are doing everything to continue with research and development and to building up our future. We can't do that by taking the easy way. Instead, we are taking the approach that the founders of this school took during the Depression. We are building, for example, new production facilities. We are making a $1 billion investment in our future here in the United States. Our new factory in Chattanooga, Tennessee, will create at least 2,000 direct jobs and more than 10,000 jobs at suppliers and related businesses. That's how confident we at Volkswagen are in the American economy. That's how confident we are in Volkswagen's future here in this country. We are not just building a new plant, we are building a new company. The transformation of our company began in 2007, when we announced that we would move our head office from Michigan to Herndon in Virginia. This move reflected our desire to hit the reset button at Volkswagen as part of an effort to grow our business here in the United States. With our move and new leadership, we have created an atmosphere that encourages innovation, creativity, and collaboration. From our U.S. head office in Herndon, we see a clear way forward. In these challenging times, the economy and customers are sending the same message. Consumer tastes are in line with economic reality. To thrive, we have to respond now, not sometime in the future after the economy has recovered. We have to accelerate our efforts to achieve sustainable mobility. That's not the easy way in this economic environment, but it is definitely the right way. Well, to calm down a little bit the expectations of you, I will not announce that we will introduce an electric car tomorrow. But our industry is changing the world by offering mobility to rich and to poor alike. Mobility brings freedom. Mobility brings opportunities, and mobility brings economic development. It enriches human experience. It breaks down barriers, and it opens new possibilities. However, the positive changes have come at the cost of our environment. Our industry has been part of the problem, but now we are determined to be part of the solution as well. We have the knowledge, we have the technology, we have the money available to invest, and we have the desire to change the direction. For example, in the year 2008, the Volkswagen Group introduced 50 new models globally. In the year 2009, we will introduce 60 new models and product enhancements globally. And in 2010, we will bring 20 completely new models globally into the market. Because, and why? Our customers want us to change. Our customers want that we change the direction of mobility. For Volkswagen, our commitment to sustainable mobility covers the entire lifespan of a car. It's not only when you as the consumer are driving the car. It starts when we are developing the car, when we are choosing the suppliers, when we are building the cars in our plants, and finally also when we recycle the cars. So it starts in its early stages of the manufacturing process, and it ends in the vehicle's final trip to the recycling yard. We have designed our new plant in Tennessee to reduce energy consumption. We also designed it to limit environmental impacts at every step of the manufacturing process. We will use environmentally friendly refrigerants in the air-conditioned systems. We will employ water-saving technologies. We will recycle whenever possible. And we will implement manufacturing processes that reduces emissions and hazardous waste. And when waste is produced, we will clean it up afterwards ourselves. All of these measures will cut cost and make our new facility a better workplace for our employees. It's a very important message. It's about having harmony between environmental efforts, sustainable environmentally technologies, manufacturing processes, with also having motivated employees and combining this with a profitable business case. By the way, these measures, we are not just implementing at our new plant in Tennessee. We are doing it in all production facilities from Brazil to Mexico, from Russia to India, from Europe to China, all over the world. We know that everything we put into our cars during their production can ultimately impact the environment. We use, for example, biodegradable hydraulic oils whenever possible. We are researching carbon fiber vehicles, which could include materials made from wood pulp or cellulose. But the key to sustainable mobility is not at the beginning or at the end of the car's lifespan. It's during service years when it is on the road. At Volkswagen, we are taking a long-term and a short-term approach. And the short-term approach is not the electric vehicles. Our goal is a carbon-neutral car, but we are not letting that long-term goal distract us from improvements we can make right now. Before fossil fuels can be completely phased out, and that will take at least 20 to 30 years, we have to make sure that we get maximum efficiency from gasoline and diesel engines. Our direct injection diesel technology, called the TDI clean diesel technology, dramatically reduces greenhouse gas emissions when compared to traditional gasoline engines. And it's more about fun to drive. Diesel engines offer a tremendous torque, and it's really fun to drive. I'm extremely proud that our clean diesel Jetta TDI won the Green Car of the Year award at the Los Angeles Auto Show last November. The judges included representatives from the Sierra Club and the Natural Resources Defense Council. Clean diesel is 45% more fuel efficient than gas-powered engines. Going forward, we will offer clean diesel in up to 30% here in the United States of the cars that will have a diesel option. This also includes the cars which we will produce in Chattanooga. Clean diesel is a step in the right direction, and it is the right technology for today, for passenger cars, but especially also for the truck business. We are working on multiple tracks to develop zero-emission vehicles. We are perfecting the diesel hybrid that uses an electric motor as the main source of propulsion. The batteries that power our Golf twin drive can be recharged from ordinary electric socket. Some car experts have called this car actually as the super hybrid. It is fuel efficiency and emissions level beats anything of the today's availability in the market. We also developed the all-synthetic sun fuel for diesel engine. It cuts greenhouse gas by another 90%. We are working on second generations of biofuels. Second generation is very important because it doesn't take away bioenergy out of the food chain. They are produced from straw, for example, or other biomass that does not serve in the food circle and in the food source. And they can be produced in a very carbon neutral or nearly carbon neutral process. We are working on a particular zero-emission hydrogen fuel cell car. Last summer, our high-motion Tiguan traveled from Portland, Maine to Los Angeles to demonstrate the potential of this fantastic fuel source. Working with the California Fuel Cell Partnership, we have established the largest fleet of fuel cell cars from a single manufacturer in one location here in California. The 24-car fleet includes 16 Passat vehicles that came to California from Beijing after providing the transport at the Olympic Games in China. The cars logged nearly 50,000 miles in Beijing, and the only byproduct that came from their tailpipes was water. Some of the most exciting work on the car of the future is occurring here in California. Our Volkswagen Design Center in Santa Monica is coming up with designs that take full advantage of new fuel sources on the horizon. You may have seen some drawings of the Volkswagen Nanospider. This vehicle envisions the use of nanotechnology. It combines hydrogen fuel cells, solar power, electric motors, and inflatable organic body panels. And I might also mention that our designers in Santa Monica are helping us for designing our cars dedicated for the US market. Our electronic research laboratory in Palo Alto is experimenting with concepts to improve fuel efficiency, safety, and comfort. For example, cars on autopilot could be programmed to move smoothly through coordinated traffic lights. We don't know precisely where all these experimentations and innovations will lead, but we know the general direction. If we keep moving, if we keep innovating, even in these challenging times, we will get where we want to be. There's a widespread agreement in our society today that we need to move into sustainable mobility. As President Obama said in his inaugural address, quote, and I quote this, "Everywhere we look, there is work to be done. We will harness the sun and the winds and the soil to fuel our cars and run our factories. We will not achieve our goals overnight. It will take time. It will take hard work and cooperation from other stakeholders as well. During the transition period, it is critical to maintain a shared commitment to the goal of sustainable mobility. The auto industry has changed many times over the course of its 120-year history. We are in a period of profound change right now, and we will emerge better for it. The economy will rebound. That's a fact. And when it does, the winners will be the companies that avoid the easy way and take the road towards sustainable mobility and sustainable investment into modern technology. You can help us to reach our goal. You can help by working within your chosen field to find solutions that are good for the environment as well as the bottom line. You can help by choosing a career in the automotive industry. We need smart, creative, energetic, dedicated people to help us to turn challenges into opportunities. But no matter what field you choose, you can help by taking your creativity, your idealism to work with you every day. Thank you for having me here today, and I'm looking forward for your questions. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you for being here. You mentioned several technologies that Volkswagen is working on, the hybrid diesels, fuel cells, also electric vehicles, natural gas. Which technology do you think is going to become the dominant alternative technology in the next 5 or 10 years?
That's a very interesting question, and I can't answer this question. But I can give you an example. You all have a mobile telephone. And if you look at your mobile telephone, you see different technologies. You have touch screens. You have mobile telephones which you flip off, and you have a bigger screen, and you have a better keyboard, and so on. So the industry of the mobile telephone is also searching and looking what is the best in the future. And there is no defined, clear way that this mobile telephone technology is the best for the consumer. Maybe there will be also in the future 2 or 3 different main streams of mobile telephones. Fortunately, the mobile telephone industry is in a position to quickly change their mobile telephones. You see this. Mobile telephones just disappear, and others appear as well. That's more complex in the auto industry, where we have a life cycle of about 6 to 7 years from the start when we engineer a car over the life cycle until the end of production. So it needs more research and it needs more commitment, actually, in which direction we will go. But to briefly answer your question, I personally believe that we will have fossil-driven vehicles for the next 20 to 25 years. We should not dream, and it's totally unrealistic, that within a decade, markets like the United States, like Europe, or especially all the emerging markets, can change to advanced technology. But the good news is that the gasoline engines and also other fuel and fossil-related engines can be dramatically optimized. We can have cars on the road which have a fuel consumption with regular gasoline engines of about 50 to 60 to 70 miles per gallon. That's possible. And that will happen in the next 10 years. And parallel to this, we will have an increased portion of, for example, hybrids, plug-in hybrids, but also electric cars. These cars will come up. Tesla, for example, will introduce its car for 115,000, 120,000 cars. May I ask how many of you guys can afford a Tesla? Somebody has given up already an order. So that's how it will start. Electric cars will be extremely expensive. I know also that the technology of electric cars is not really properly developed. There's a lot of research and engineering necessary in respect of the safety of the battery, the lasting of the battery, the whole issue of the recycling of the battery, the electric engine itself. Electric engines are very properly running when they are on high torque, on high speed, but it's getting more complicated with electric engines when they're in a, for example, city mood with a lot of accelerations, slow movements. So this is not really properly solved. And there is no infrastructure. Or what you guys believe what would happen if 15 million new customers would plug in their electric cars in the electric socket. Yeah? There's no country on earth who is really properly prepared to have electric cars. So what I want to say is we have to live for a certain period, 15, 20, 25 years with fossil engines, which will significantly optimize compared to what we have today with the big 8-cylinder engines. And we will have, in parallel to this, other technologies as well. And I think until we are really coming to electric cars with a significant portion and share, it will take at least 25 years. Sorry to let you wait.
That's okay. I just wanted to thank you for coming and thank you for bringing the TDI back to the United States. And
is this a prepared question?
Yes. And you answered my second half of my question, but it seems to me that car companies over the last several decades have really been responding to customers and, you know, kind of responding to the fickleness of customers over a 5 to 10 year period. But now it seems that car companies are trying to really be leaders in the sustainability movement, because definitely most Americans aren't 100% behind sustainability.
Say it again.
I said it seems that car companies are in the process of transitioning to trying to be leaders and saying, we're going to go in this direction to sustainability, and we want the American people and people around the world to help us get there and follow us there. And I just wanted to talk about that transition and mindset of, you know, responding to kind of immediate customer needs for more power, more strength and price point versus leading into the future and looking 20, 30 years out.
Yeah, thank you. Well, actually, I'm a friend of sustainable business management as well. Working in the auto industry for more than 22 years, or even more, I was always very afraid about quarterly reports. Why? Because when we do an investment today, and investing in new technology, it will come to the market in 2 or 3 years. And then we have to get the return for another 5, 6 years of lifetime. And if we do things right, we need to use this kind of technology also for the successor model. We are a long-term oriented business. We cannot be driven by stock markets on a quarterly basis. This is one reason why the economy is there. because the stock markets drove the real industry into quarterly reports. Everybody who has run a company as a CEO or as a dealer knows how easy it is to generate profit on a quarterly basis, but there is no sustainability. And you see in many, many companies today, also in our industry, we had been too much driven by quarterly reports, by Wall Street, and did not do the proper things on a long term. First, of course, consumer needs changes. But the industry can, because of the long lead time of the investment, cannot react in this kind of speed. We need more time. And we need also the support of the government in respect of their tax, that, for example, new technologies will be supported with tax credits, for example, as many countries globally are doing. We believe that one of the major challenges of the auto industry is to come closer to your guys, to the customers, to listen, and then to transform this into future products. That's the challenge of our industry, and I agree that we have not done our homework properly over the last centuries. We can really improve on a global scale to listen to our customers and to implement this faster into our products.
Thank you very much. As one who has been driving an electric car for over 6 years on electricity generated from sunlight with virtually no maintenance whatsoever, I take issue with virtually everything you said about the electric car. And I'd like to talk to you at length about that afterwards, but my specific question has to do with batteries. I do know that Volkswagen is moving toward the plug-in vehicle quite strongly right now, and I applaud you for that. Can you tell us a little bit about which battery company you're going with? I know you're going with lithium-ion, but which company you're going to be buying the batteries from, what the calendar life is, what the cycle life is, and what the cost per kilowatt hour is.
No. Okay. We are cooperating with various suppliers of batteries. It's another very interesting topic. The topic is that on a global scale, there's a shortage of batteries. And there's a shortage also of competence, especially in the Western world, battery technologies. Not only in the United States, but also especially in Europe as well. We just have recently set up a joint venture for manufacturing lithium-ion batteries with Toshiba. We will produce these batteries in Germany as well. Concerning the kilowatt hours power price, I only can say that if you would offer a car right now with an electric vehicle and with the purchase of a battery, that's equal from the consumer cost, that would be equal to about $10 per gallon price for battery for fuel. So that's the break even when consumers actually at today's price level would start to consider to buy an electric vehicles. We all know how painful it was last summer actually, with $4 per gallon. And at $10 it starts to get feasible to consider for the premium class cars an electric vehicle. The problem with the batteries is very much that we don't think that the purchase of a battery is the solution. We think that in the future we maybe will only lease the battery to the consumers and take the batteries back, put it into a recycle chain, and lease it to the customer on a monthly fee. But also, therefore, we don't have the infrastructure. The battery has to be recharged then and changed at the dealership, not for putting the electricity on, but from time to maintenance the battery and to change the battery. To make the whole concept more feasible, to sell the car and to lease the battery.
All right, this is a softball question compared to that one. Gas prices have come down dramatically. Why are you still confident that diesel has a future here in the United States?
Yeah, some diesel fans in the United States say there's a conspiracy against diesel. I think there is not. diesel in the United States is generally more expensive than in Europe for various reasons. First of all, there's a high demand here in the United States for heating the houses in wintertime with diesel energy. And to run a lot of the pharma industry also with diesel, which does not happen so much in Europe. And then Europe did something very interesting, and they started with this 10, 15 years ago. They put tax on fuel. Why did they do this? In order to make mobility more expensive, in order to encourage consumers to buy fuel-efficient vehicles. It's another very strong argument. You cannot just put all the burden on the automotive industry to offer these kind of technologies. You must make it also affordable to the consumers. It's very, very important. Of course, we will have pretty soon electric vehicles for $100,000, but who can afford this? And that's why in Europe, diesel fuel is actually less tax on diesel fuel than on other fuel, on gasoline fuel as well, and that makes it more appropriate and more better for the consumers to buy diesel vehicles in Europe. In Europe, we have countries like Italy or France where the diesel share is about 50%, whereas here in the United States, it's in total less than 5%. So there is an opportunity as well by actually giving encouragement to the consumers.
So you recommend the U.S. government tax gas? Is that what you're saying?
Indirectly, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know how difficult it is, but to put all the burden on the auto industry, develop, and bring it on the market, that doesn't work. You have to give also the kind of token to the consumer and push a little bit the consumer into the direction of fuel-efficient vehicles.
First, I'd just like to thank you for coming to speak to us today. With the majority of the world's motorsport categories featuring gasoline-powered vehicles, Audi TDI a notable exception, do you consider this actually propagates a stereotype that alternative-powered vehicles and electric vehicles, perhaps less glamorous and lower-performing vehicles?
Can you say the rest?
Yeah, do you consider that this propagates a stereotype that perhaps alternative-powered vehicles and electric vehicles are lower-performing and less glamorous than gasoline-powered vehicles?
I think what we have also to learn is that we have to develop cars for different needs. I believe that the electric car will have a strong pillar and will have actually its major use in city traffic, with a range of about up to maximum 100 miles. If it comes to over-the-land traffic, I think the gasoline and the diesel engines will have a lot of advantages compared to the electric engines. Also because we have to consider that electric vehicles, due to the battery, will be much more heavier than a gasoline engine. So it depends very much where you use the car.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. It seems from recent accounts that VW is faring better than most automobile companies in the recent economic climate. Just wanted to know if you could elaborate a little bit more on what management principles you're using or have used that have seen you in a slightly better position than other manufacturers. Are there any core beliefs that are held at the executive level, perhaps?
Well, I cannot compare to other automakers. I have worked for Daimler Chrysler and for Mitsubishi, for a Japanese automaker, but I only can take for Volkswagen. And I can say for Volkswagen, we are car guys. And we think that if the product is right, in respect of the consumer needs, in respect of the reliability, the quality, the fuel efficiency, that this is the core pillar for success, this product. Another big reason why we are a bit in a different position than our competitors is we believe in branding. Cars are a highly emotional product. It's not commodity. They're always part of the business of our business is commodity as well. but it is the second most expensive consumer good next to buying a house a consumer actually is doing. And consumers put a lot of money and a lot of efforts in choosing their cars. And having a strong emotionally brand behind that is very important. It gives the confidence, it gives the trust in the brand, it gives the heritage to the brand as well, and it makes the consumer actually feeling happy buying this product. And with the brand portfolio which we have, starting from Bugatti and Lamborghini and Bentley, but going then over Audi as a premium brand and then Volkswagen and the other European brands, that's a strong global brand portfolio. And what we have managed with our engineers is also that we are relying all on same technology. Should not talk so much about this, but this is the key to success, to need platforms, to use platforms, not only for one brand, not only for one model, but among the whole lineup. That's very important for being efficient in your cost, in your manufacturing, but also in your investment. Another reason why we are doing relatively well is our global presence. And if I may say something about the bailout discussion here with Chrysler and with General Motors, when I read their papers, it's all about the United States. And if I see General Motors is a global company. They're strong in China, they're strong in Brazil, they're strong in Europe. Where is the global approach of my friends from General Motors to see what can we use out of Europe, what can we use out of China, and how can we handle the whole group of General Motors? It is not a solution to let Opel and Vauxhall and Saab just let it go. It cannot be the solution. So the global presence of the Volkswagen Group, we are strong in China. We are market leader in Brazil. We are market leader in Europe. We are strong in Eastern Europe. We are not strong yet here, which is maybe not so bad to have not such a big exposure right now here in the United States. I like to be the little David fighting against the Goliath here in this market. But that's the strength of the Volkswagen Group as well. And finally, I think we have a very dedicated management team. I'm a people manager, and a lot of my colleagues of the top management globally of the Volkswagen Group are people managers as well. We believe in local management, if I may say so. For example, the Chinese cars are really now engineered and developed by Chinese engineers, Chinese young graduates who are using these resources as well. And we are a big family, and we treat our employees globally very well. And I think that's another reason why we are right now in a better position than our competitors.
Very quick. So I totally buy your opinion that we will not have any large diffusion of electric or other alternative source cars in the next 20 to 30 years. The question is Volkswagen doing something to have active management of pollution and or traffic? What I mean is, for example, you could, put some combustion gas in the chamber again when the car is running on idle, or some other tricks that you can play in this thing. You can basically use ICT and electronics and mechanics to try to reduce this type of impact.
So you want to have a bet with me? We'll meet again in 15 years, and then we look around the world and how electric cars will be.
I'm saying 30, so.
Well, I'm open for a bet, Nice bottle of Californian red wine.
Italian red wine.
No, as I said, we are migrating. I'm not saying that the final solution couldn't be electric cars. Or that I'm saying the final solution would be the fuel cell cars, which is even more complicated, to keep that energy and to transport actually that energy over long distance. It's easy to produce, but it's very difficult to keep that energy and to transport this energy to the consumer. What I want to bring over to you guys here is that please lower your expectations. The gasoline engines have a huge capacity for improvements, especially in this country here, especially in this country. Look in other countries and look how fuel efficient and how compact our cars are there. We can see actually how much improvements have been done. It's a business case, and you are learning business cases here in the school. If I'm able to improve today's technology, by the way, not only through the engines, but also through the material which I'm using, light material, for example, to make the cars lighter, with all the safety implemented into the cars as well. It's another very, very important issue as well. Traffic guide systems are very important, more or less in the second tier, to have more smooth traffic in the future as well. So there's a lot of improvements which we can do with less money than putting right now all our resources, all our available investment money into one solution. And I think in the midterm we will have a lot of hybrids where we use electric energy in the future as well. But I strongly believe, as far as I understand the business, and I might be wrong, that it will take much longer for pure electric cars in the future to bring this in a significant share to the consumers.
That's the one point I'd say that I would argue you might be wrong in, that you'd already pointed out that the U.S. market is actually one of your weaker markets worldwide compared to, say, Brazil. What is it that Brazil is doing different than the United States in educating consumers about the benefits of biodiesels?
Well, Brazil is a specific, because biofuel is so cheap over there. I mean, I don't know whether you guys know, in Brazil, an eucalyptus tree grows in 7 years. Now I have to translate this in 30 meters into yards. It's about 90 feet, could that be? Yeah? 100 feet, yeah? That's amazing. I mean, they have so much natural resources actually in the Amazonas, and they are starting to use this. And these eucalyptus you can actually make to biofuel and can use this for your cars.
In the United States, they've proposed using algae-based biofuels to do the same, to have the same effect. And I'm wondering, what is Volkswagen doing? You said you're working on your second generation biofuels right now. What are you doing to further consumer education?
Yeah. So what is very important is actually that it's also a cost factor. And I'm talking again about tax. And again, you must make this somehow affordable for the consumers. You cannot invest into refineries for biofuel, and then suddenly the oil price is going down, and these refineries for biofuel are not efficient, and it makes no sense actually to have this anymore. So you have to actually bring this into a proper business model. What we are doing right now is we are starting in Germany with the first refinery. The refineries will be much closer actually and much smaller than we know them from the big oil refineries, because you cannot transport biomass through big pipelines like we do with oil. So actually, if you have yarded it, you need to have short distance to the refinery. And we start with the first model case in Germany, close to the Polish border. It's a joint cooperation between Poland and Germany to build the first refinery. And our cars will be able to use this biofuel in the future as well.
Would you say that one solution would be then to remove the tax from biofuels in the United States and increase the tax on the dirty fuels?
You have to support the biofuel then. Yeah, that's very important.
Right.
Yeah, because what is important for the biofuel and what's necessary for the biofuel is that you build the infrastructure. You need to have the refineries, and you have to have the technology and the investment. And it cannot be that then suddenly, because of the market, the oil prices are cheaper than the biofuel.
And that's one, I guess the essence of the question is, there's a film actually out right now in Los Angeles called Fuel, and it looks almost like a Volkswagen commercial with how good your products look.
Yeah.
That Volkswagen is really sitting on a gold mine with all of this advanced diesel technology that really American companies don't possess at the moment.
I think the Dean said this before. What does it mean, American company and a German company? We are not a German company. We have a heritage in Germany maybe, but we are a global player. Yeah? We have global shareholders as well. Yeah? And the same for the American auto industry as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
to thank Stefan. I think it's pretty exciting to see a company like Volkswagen with their size and prestige, the ambitious sustainability goals that they have set, as well as the sobering facts of how realistic we have to set our expectations. So I know there's a lot of eager people out here helping to help you out and move you forward in your goals. So on behalf of UCLA Anderson and all the sponsors, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.